Hello and good morning. Today we're going to continue our discussion on 3.7, the average daily balance. But before we do that, if you missed a test, there's going to be a sign-up sheet which looks like this on the wall. And I'll put a star on it. Okay, make sure you sign up so I can open it back up on Canvas for you to take it. If you fail to do so, you'll have to wait till week 9, which isn't that far away, but I want name, period, and what test, test 1 or test 2. Anyway, let's get back to this. How do you find the average daily balance on a credit card statement? Well, what you have to do is see if there's a beginning balance. And as a matter of fact, we're going to do this right now. So let's take a look. I want you to open up a book to page 194. Okay, so on page 194, let's see what information we need. So as you get to page 194, you need some things here. You need to know the billing date right here. So the billing date on this example, example 1, is November 13th. So write that down. That is the billing date. You also need to know how many days in that period. So this one says 31 days. Okay, and here's how you do this, so pay attention. Okay, so you have to start off with some blocks here, and we're just going to use dashes. So we're going to use 7. So we're going to say example 1. Okay, so put 7. Okay, so when you do that, that basically mimics a calendar here. Okay, so 7 times 5, let me lower this. 7 times 5 should be 35 of these. Okay, so you should have 35 of these. Now, put 35. You count them. Now, 35, and you only have 31 days, so you're going to knock off 4 of these on the back side, because 31 plus the 4 makes 35. And then you start counting backwards, okay? So here, the billing date is November 13th. So you're going to say the 13th of November here, 12, 11, okay? So that's November. October has 31 days. So this is going to be 31 of October, 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, okay? Now just to verify that we're doing this right, let's just take a look in the book. See how it ends on the 14th, October? And then that's the billing date down here. And they blocked off 4 of these. So we're on the right track. Now, what you want to do is look at the previous balance here. It looks like 829.30. So you're going to put 829.30 is the beginning balance. So they obviously didn't pay it off. Then you look at the statement itself. And right here it says on the 25th, you made a purchase of 67. So come to the 25th and put plus 67. Because you made a purchase, you got to add the 67. The next thing you did was you made on October 29th another purchase for 55 bucks. So on the 29th, put plus 55 bucks. So you're going further in debt here. And then finally, you have a payment of 160 on November 6th. So put minus 160 because that is a payment. Okay, let's take a look at what we have. We have an opening balance because they didn't pay it off. Now, how many days did they carry that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 days at that amount. So you're going to do 11 times 829.30, and you're going to get an answer. Make this a little smaller. And then here, you're going to add 67 bucks to that. So on your calculator, get it out, clear it out, press 829.3 plus $67, which was your first purchase. So put 896.3 right here, 896.3. Now, how long did they carry that for? So it's 896.3 or 30, and it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 days. So it's going to be 4 times that amount, okay? And then they added 55 bucks. So plus 55 bucks. 951.30 goes here. So 951.30 goes here, and they carried 951.30 for how many days? Well, here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then they made a payment. So that's 8. And then they made a payment of 160. So minus 160. So I get 791.30. And you're going to write that right here. So 791.30. And how many days is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days. Okay. So once you do this, you're going to multiply, get an answer. Multiply, get an answer. Multiply, get an answer. Multiply, get an answer. Then you're going to total all of this up, add it all up, and then you're going to divide by 31 days. When you do, you get the average daily balance. Now, if you did it right, according to this example, it's 854.46. Now, if you get stuck, go back to this example. That's how you do it. And this is what we're doing today. I want you to read example 2 and 3, and then I want you to start working. So today's assignment is page 198, 1 through 10. All right, have a good morning. We're going to turn our attention now to my next class, which is college algebra. Okay, so here we go. And those of you in college algebra, the sign-up sheet for a missed test is on the wall by the door. Let's keep moving. Okay, let's solve this equation here. So draw a line. Put your bell work right here. I think it's 10.5 today. So 6 times x is 6x minus 6. Make sure you multiply. Plus 4 is equal to 21x plus 3. Once you do that, this becomes a negative 2. So 6x minus 2. And then over here, you're going to get 21x plus 3. All right, so now 6x is smaller, so I'm going to subtract 6x from both sides. That gives me 14, 15, I think it is. Now I'm going to subtract 3, and I get negative 5. And then divide by 15, and I get negative 1/3. And that's what you should get as well. Let's take a look at the examples in the book. So for this class, grab your book when you enter the class. Let's take a look at example 1, and I'm on page 83. So go to page 83. All right, example 1 says solve the linear equation. Well, let's take a look at it. Let's make it just a tad bigger. Okay? So what they did here was they added 6 and then they divide it by 3. Real simple. Okay? It even says it. Over here, I would subtract 3x, so 5 minus 3 gives you 2. And then I would subtract 4, but you got a negative 8, so that makes it a negative 12, and you get a negative 6. So that's pretty easy, and there it is right there. Example 2, this one I think we worked on the bell work, negative 1/3. Okay? Let's turn now to the next part here, and this is section 1.2, just so you know. Okay, solving this. So look up here. This one right here, and I want you to write this one down. So put x over 3. All right, so your least common denominator here is 12, right here, 4 times 3. So I would multiply all of this by 12. This is called clearing the denominator. 3 goes into 12, 4, so you get 4x. 4 goes into 12, 3 times that 3 makes 9x. And then here is 24. Okay? So this gives you 13x equals 24. All right. And so once you get to this point, you have to divide, and the answer is going to be 24 over 13, and you're done. And that's what they have. So x equals 24 over 13. All right, this one should work the same way. I would use my least common denominator of 9, okay, because 3 goes into 9. And so I think they would do it that way. This one right here, it says extraneous. Now this one right here is a little bit harder, okay? So in other words, you got to find your least common denominator. So let's go to example 4, and we're going to work this one. So copy this down. Okay, copy that one down. All right, let's take a look. On this one right here, what you need to do is first factor your denominator. So this one right here factors as the difference of 2 squares. Okay, which you should know. Now the least common denominator on all of this is going to be x minus 2 and x plus 2. If you don't know how to find the least common denominator, you're going to have to raise your hand. This one, you're missing the x plus 2. This one, you're missing the x minus 2. This one, you have everything. Okay? So now you got to distribute. So 1 times x plus 2 is going to be x plus 2 over your least common denominator, which is all of that. Over here, you're going to get 3x minus 2 all over your least common denominator, minus 6x all over your least common denominator. Okay? So once you get to this point, what you can now do is multiply both sides by your least common denominator. And when you do that, this drops out. So now you're going to get x plus 2 is equal to 3x minus 6x is a negative 3x minus 2. Now you want to add 3x to both sides. When you do, you get 4x plus 2 is equal to a negative 2. You're going to get a negative 4, and you get x equals a negative 1. Because a negative 4 divided by 4 should give you a negative 1. Now, let's see here. Okay, so somewhere in here, let's take a look at their solution here and see what's going on. So this right here is x plus 2. Let me look at my solution here, which is what we had. And then we had negative 3x, and that should have been minus 6 right here. Okay, so look right here at my work. This should have been distributed, and that should have been minus 6. So make that correction, okay? And let's see what we got. Minus 6, and that 2 is going to give us a minus 8. All right, and so minus 8 divided by 4 is going to be a positive or a negative 2. And that's what they have. Okay, so make that correction, and that's what they have right here. And they call this extraneous. It says in the original solution, x equals -2 yields a denominator of 0. So x -2 is extraneous, and the original equation has no solution. Well, the reason for that, let me make this a little more focused, is because if you take -2 and plug it in here, you're going to get 0 in your denominator, and you can't have that. So it's called extraneous. Therefore, it is no solution on that problem. Your work for today, I want you to do 1 through 28. Write this down. 1 through 28 on page 87. Put a heading. If you have questions, ask. I want you to go back and read this and find those answers. Some of the answers are in the back, but make sure you read it. Have a good day.